Then we had a three plays, and we had to punt it, and then they go down and score in 2 plays. And kind of you could just see we didn't have the same energy as we did in the first half. I think our kids were getting tired, and that's my fault. We got to be in better condition by this point in the year.
And up next, at Parsons, take on the Vikings, who are 0-6 and coming off a shootout loss at Chanute. And, it's district time. You got to strap it on and get after it.
Oh, definitely. This is the playoffs for us. We got to take one game at a time and just focus on winning that game no matter what happens. So Parsons has some tremendous athletes, especially at quarterback. They've scored a ton of points on offense. They've had a game with 50. I think they've had 37 last week. They've had 30 again before and 20-some. So they're scoring a lot of points on offense. He's a dual threat quarterback. So once again, our D-line's got to play really, really big, keep him contained in the pocket, be physical, because he can break a play or have a big pass anytime. So our defense is really focused this week, and we're just going to have to play very well as a team to win.
And been a little nicked up, and I guess getting some of the kids back for the game at Parsons.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We're hopefully going to get Andrew Mays back at defensive tackle. He's just a guy that brings a lot of energy, plays extremely hard, and he's been one of our leaders on defense. So once we get full strength, I think our defense is going to be really good.
Frontenac coach Mark Smith, thanks for talking with us. Good luck at Parsons against the Vikings, and we'll talk to you after the game.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Kanar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Kanar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care, from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Kanar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Jocksnitch has all your hometown needs to get you geared up for the football game. New Pitt State gear has already arrived, such as hats, tees, sweatshirts, license plates, koozies, and even tees for your dog. We are your stop to make before headed to tailgate. There's only one Gorilla Nation, and there's only one Gorilla Gear headquarters, Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Check us out in downtown Pittsburgh and Parsons.
You got the sports look of the day. Sporting Goods from Jocksnitch.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We're in Parsons for this district battle between the Frontenac Raiders and the Parsons Vikings. And again, the Raiders coming in at 3-3 and coming off that 31-17 loss to Labette County last Friday at home. The Vikings 0-6, and they lost at Chanute by a score of 62-43, putting up a lot of numbers. And talking to some of the folks around here, I guess really nicked up a lot of injuries, and that's kind of slowed them down a little bit. But like I said, you start 0-0 in district play, and this game, then the Raiders host Columbus next week, and then they will go to Baxter Springs to wrap up the regular season and district play, and then, of course, playoffs after that if you win a couple of contests. And should be an interesting game. Nice night, a little warmer than we've been used to here recently, but it is dry, and I remember the last couple of times being here, it's been kind of drizzly and cold up in the old press box, but, of course, they have the shelter on the west stands here and everybody under those, but a little warm and ready for a good game of football. Should be interesting. It was a little breezier. It looked like a south breeze, but nothing like it was gusting during the afternoon. But it should be an interesting game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Parsons struggling so far this year, going 0-6 so far, and really defense has been their biggest problem. You take away some of the injuries and things may be different as well. They lost another offensive lineman last week. Looks like he's going to be down for a year. I heard he was in a neck brace walking around somewhere, so hopefully he's okay. But looks like he's going to be done for a while. They're going to come out in the spread offense, which is something new with the new coach this year. They've been out of the wing T the last several years. New coach in, he's gone to the spread. The problem on offense has been up front mainly, and so they've had to go with a short passing game, not really running the ball a whole lot. They will roll the quarterback out quite a bit because he is their best athlete, Daquan Johnson, just a sophomore, but by far their best athlete. They'll try to roll him out and get some big plays that way. Defensively, they're 4-4 base. They're not terribly big up front. They haven't got a ton of penetration, and defense is really the side of the ball that they've struggled the most with so far this year.
And you mentioned last week, losing to Levant County, a couple of their key players transferred from Parsons, and of course that took a nick in the Vikings this year. That would have helped them, but you play with who you have, and hopefully they'll get healthy. And the Raiders, we were talking to them earlier about a few of their players little nicked up, but getting back to health here at the start of district play. So we're looking forward to this contest tonight as the Raiders visit the Vikings. And again, Frontenac, all games on ESPN 1007.com for the stream, or the play-by-play at 103.5 FM. So you can enjoy Raiders football, district play, and hopefully on into the playoffs. And pretty nice crowd here, and it gets a little loud under the canopy here if you get a crowd in here, so we don't need the wild sound mic tonight as the Vikings playing host to the Raiders. And why don't we take another 2-minute break? 2 minutes. You're listening to Frontenac Raiders on 103.5 FM.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Haynes handles all the driveline repairs for cars, trucks, 4-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Haynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour record service. Call Haynes anytime, 231-3170. Haynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 in Frontenac Junction. Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of 2 major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck with from the mayor, city council, and staff.
And Rob Strand back with Randy Southard, and nearing kickoff of this district battle, Frontenac Raiders at the Parsons Vikings, as the Raiders come out, and they're over on the far side, the east side, the visitor side, and waiting for the arrival of the Parsons Vikings to the near side, the west side, and some of the keys to tonight's game.
Yeah, for the Frontenac Raiders on offense tonight, the biggest thing is turnovers and penalties to a certain degree. But turnovers and all the Raiders' losses have just been the killer for the Raiders, giving the other team short fields or points straight off of it. So they've got to be able to hold on to the football, limit penalties, hopefully no holding penalties or anything like that. And I really think, I've been saying this for weeks, they need to get the running game going, make it to where the quarterback isn't expected to throw it 20 to 30 times a night. Defensively for Frontenac, I think we need to keep the quarterback on the inside. So when they try to do those rollouts, those defensive ends need to be able to get up the field, not let him get to the outside where he's got the option to pass or run. And that's when they try to get their big plays, either a broken play where he's scrambling or it's just extra time and a receiver makes an adjustment. That's when their big plays have come. So keep everything on the inside, and then the defensive backs are going to have to make one-on-one tackles on the outside against the short passing game. For Parsons on offense, they've got to be able to give that quarterback some time and let the receivers get open. And then once they get the ball, let their athletes be athletes. They've got pretty good athletes on the outside as well as the quarterback, so let them be athletic. Defensively for Parsons, they're going to have to make sure they can get into the backfield, whether it's pressuring the passer or getting on the running game beforehand. If the Raiders are able to block them up front, could be a long night for Parsons.
So some of the keys to tonight's district battle between Frontenac and Parsons, and again, still awaiting the arrival of the Vikings on their side as we're nearing kickoff for this district battle. And again, the other district game tonight that we have. Baxter Springs is at Columbus. And, of course, next week the Raiders will play host to Columbus. Some of the other contests we've got going on, Girard entertaining Anderson County. Colgan at Yates Center, and Pittsburgh at home against Bonner Springs. And, of course, you get the Pittsburgh, Colgan, Girard, and Frontenac games streamed live at ESPN1007.com and the Frontenac on the radio at 103.5 FM. So we got you covered here in the district and the end of the regular season and hopefully into some postseason play. And looking forward to an interesting game here tonight as the Vikings play host to the Raiders. It'll be interesting to see after that hard-fought game, Labette County last Friday. Well, the Raiders played well. I mean, again, the turnovers, like you said, shot at themselves in the foot, but pretty sound Labette County team and, put a scare into them. So now you see how any hangover from that as they visit Parsons. Here comes the Vikings and the crowd fired up. And why don't we, before the starting lineups, why don't we take another 2-minute break? 2 minutes. You're listening to the Frontenac Raiders on 103.5 FM.
Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Haynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Haynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour record service. Call Haynes anytime, 231-3170. Haynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The city of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of two major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
And Rob Strand back with Randy Souther, the captains in the center of the field for the Frontenac Raiders. Brock Ginnivan along with Peyton Brown, Jordan Ishimura, and Cal Strand. For the Parsons Vikings, they have Daquan Johnson, also Gavin Larson, Joel Scheibe, and Malik Robinson. And getting instructions from the white hat out there. The Raiders in their visiting white jerseys with black helmets, black numerals, and black pants, The Vikings at home in their blue helmets, jerseys, pants with the white numerals and the gold trim. And we'll see who's going to won the toss and see if they decide to take the football or take the choice in the second half.
Well, there's an awful lot of discussion going on out there. I know that. They just finally flipped the coin, so been out there a while. And Rob, I don't think we've had the national anthem, have we?
Well, that's what's kind of throwing me off on the timing here. I was kind of waiting to see. The band is down here.
Well,
but
apparently Parsons won the toss, but their players don't know what the coach wanted them to do.
Well,
now they've made a decision.
So
I believe Parsons deferred.
I think they
I
did.
believe is what happened, and yeah, Frontenac will get the ball first.
Right, I think you're right. I think Parsons did have the choice, and the Raiders got the football. In any event, the Raiders will have the football starting, defend the north goal, and they will be going into a south breeze here to start this contest. And the Parsons High School Pep Band will now play our national anthem. And the national anthem by the Parsons Pep Band. And now we're ready for football. The Raiders and the Vikings. And again, the Raiders will have the football first. And again, heading into that south breeze, which, like I said, pretty gusty this afternoon, but I think it's cut down a little bit, but still could have a bit of an impact on maybe the punting game and the like. And a nice crowd, and the band did an outstanding job. It looks like they have some of the youth cheerleaders down there cheering the Vikings on. Again, the other district contest, Baxter Springs at Columbus. Of course, Columbus lost their first game of the season last week at Galena. And, of course, the Lions come in with a 4-2 record. So they're having a nice season going. So it should be interesting to hear that score from Columbus. We're ready for football. And teeing it up for the Parsons Vikings will be Cody Stevens. Tees it up at the 40-yard line, back to receive the kick for the Frontenac Raiders. Drops Brennan Yeshamira, also Brant Chance, and also dropping back to receive the kickoff, Alex Johnson.
Now, Parsons has kicked deep, and actually fairly deep. Their kicker does have a good leg, so expect this ball to be kicked all the way close to the end zone.
And high end over end. Ishimura retreats back inside his 5, brings it straight up middle, 10, 15, 20. And he bowls, well, he's going to be drugged down by a host of tacklers as he stopped about the 28-yard line. Pretty nice return by Ishimura.
Yeah, and he did a good job at the end. You know, Ishimura sometimes gets a little loose with the ball after that first contact, and you get worried about him fumbling. This time, though, he was held up, and he wasn't going to be able to go any further, but not going down. But he really covered the ball up and protected it well that time.
So 1st and 10, Raiders will start just outside their own 28-yard line. Coming out wide to the right is Ishimura. Double slots left. Cooper Loy along with Brock Ginnevan. Out of the gun, give left side to Wilbert. Cuts inside a block. He's still on his feet and close to a first down out near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and left side line, pretty good push this time. And I thought for a second he was going to bounce it to the outside, which was going to be a mistake. Planted his left foot and cut up the middle. Was able to get a nice gain on first down. In fact, they're going to give him a first down, so give him 10 yards on the carry. But a good cut, as it looked like he might bounce it, but made the right choice.
1st and 10, Raiders. Football just shy of their own 40-yard line. Peyton Brown, senior quarterback, out of the gun. Motion right to left goes Wilbert, and they give it this time in the middle. Loy breaks the first wave of tacklers, and he's collared and slung down out near the 48-yard line after a gain about 9.
Well, Parsons is kind of selling out on the line. It looks like they've got a 6-man front, just kind of daring Frontenac to try to run it, against that 6-man front. The problem is if you get past that 6-man front, there's not a whole lot behind it in support. So far in the first 2 plays, the Raiders have blocked well up front.
2nd and 1, Raiders. And there's a give. Sweep to the left side. Wilbert's got plenty of room. Cuts inside a block, still on his feet. He lowers his shoulder, and he's down at the 35 of the Vikings.
Boy, and Cooper Loy leading the way. He peels back to the inside to get the pursuing linebacker and just crunched him. That made that hole even bigger for Wilbert. So able to get to the outside, which that's something kind of new. The Raiders not really been able to get to the edge much this year, but able to right there.
Raiders 1st and 10 from the Vikings, 34-yard line. Again, out of the gun, Brown. Walking back to his right, motion left to right, Wilbert, and a quick pass to Ginnivan, left sideline, and he avoids the first tackler. Well, he's finally dragged down, but not before he gets about the 22-yard line.
When you gotta like the play call, you run, you're having success, so you do a little play action, get the quick hitter, pick up another first down. And I tell you, Rob, so far on every offensive play, the Raider offensive linemen are actually pointing to who they're blocking. The communication, which they have not done that hardly at all this year. So communicating much better up front so they don't have missed assignments.
Raiders 1st and 10 from the Vikings 22. Quick hitch, right side, complete. Ishamir, boy, he splits the defenders. He's inside the 10-5. Touchdown as he bowls. Oh, no, he knocked over the pylon.
Yes, he definitely knocked over the pylon, but they're going to mark him out inside the 1. I agree with you, Rob. I think he was in. Alex Johnson coming over and gets the key block on the man that was covering Ishamura, and then he's just fast enough to beat the next man over. And, yeah, sure looked like he hit the pylon, but Raiders, I think, will take it 1st and goal from inside the 1.
Brown out of the gun. Behind him, that Johnson. There's the give. Johnson left side, and he goes in for the score from a yard out.
Yeah, just simple ISO. You get a little push on the left side of the line. You needed less than a yard and able to pick it up pretty easy. So a good opening drive for the Raiders, and I like the fact they got some running game going.
So Alex Johnson does the honors from a yard out. Now in to attempt the extra point is Trey Harris out of the hold of Jake Wilbert. Spotted at the 10 with 10:31 remaining here in the first quarter, and Frontenac 6-0 lead. Extra point coming up. Good snap, gets the placement down the kick. Boy, a low line drive. Oh, no good. Boy, shanked that left. 10:31 left. First quarter, Frontenac 6, Parsons nothing. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have the resources to fight large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court experience and a track record of success. The Spigarelli Law Firm, with offices in Pittsburgh and Coffeyville, has the experience, resources, and reputation to provide the quality representation your claim deserves. Fred Spigarelli has received the top rating from his peers with the Martindale-Hubbell Independent Rating System. His firm has the resources to hire the experts and physicians needed to properly present your claim. The Spigarelli Law Firm has successfully tried cases for over 40 years and taken numerous cases all the way to the Supreme Court.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southern. 10:31 left first quarter. Frontenac with 6-0 lead, and kicking off Trey Harris back to receive the kick from Parsons Vikings. Josh Pierce along with Gavin Larson. They stand back inside their own 10-yard line. And end over end kick, and drives Pierce back. Brings it left side. He's hemmed in and brought down at the 15-yard line. And boy, Brant Chance there. And also, I believe involved in the tackle was Drew Bollinger.
Yeah, excellent coverage by the Raiders. No place to go, and then a good form tackle by both players.
So 1st and 10. The Vikings will start from their own 14-yard line. And again, the quarterback is Daquan Johnson. He is 6'1", 150-pound sophomore. And blocking back there with him is Joel Scheibe. Got Wideouts to both sides, slots to both sides. Vikings from their own 14 looking to throw. Johnson pressured, tries to turn the corner, and he's still loose, puts it up, got a man open, and it is complete. The receiving end is Larson, and he is brought down at the 40-yard line. Nice gain on first down.
Well, it's one of those broken plays. He's back in the pocket, nobody open initially, but he's able to scramble out. I mentioned you need to keep him in the pocket. He manages to get to the outside. The receiver breaks off his route, turns upfield, and the defender just not able to keep up with him. And then it was a very nice throw and catch.
1st and 10 Vikings from their own 40-yard line. Same formation, couple of wideouts both sides, a slot both sides. Out of the gun, Johnson, quick hitch, left side, and it is complete. And then Devontae Yates, and he's still on his feet before he is dragged down. See where they mark it. And on penalty flag went down late, and Yates is kind of shook up after a gain of about 7.
Yeah, and they're going to call a late hit out of bounds, and I think this is actually a good call. The play was along the sideline. I think he was pretty clearly out of bounds, and then he took a pretty good shot over there. They go ahead and throw the flag, and we'll see if they call this unsportsmanlike or if they just call it, a personal foul. But this is going to tack on another 15 yards.
And Devontae Yates, a 6'4", 180-pound junior, looking athlete, and made a nice move, picked up about 7, and they're going to tack on the penalty. And they're still all the way down to the Frontenac 37-yard line.
And I really thought the defensive backs were just kind of waiting for the player to make a move rather than being aggressive and coming up. If they're aggressive and come up, then the pursuit isn't going to get over there. They've already got him on the ground. But, at the same time, as you're pursuing, if it's along that sideline, you got to know where you are on the field.
Vikings 1st and 10 from the Raiders, 37. Dive. No, they
a lot on defense this year, but not a lot on offense except like receivers and stuff. Tonight, though, several different backs getting carries early in this game.
So Bollinger, his initial carry, good for a yard. And the Raiders face a 2nd and 9 from the Vikings 48-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 out left. Brown looking to throw. Yeah, boy, it's batted. Boy, ill-advised. Boy, that was covered and went up in the air and almost got to Jake Wilbert over along the sideline, but fell incomplete.
Yeah, this is kind of a bad choice by the quarterback, frankly. They had a receiver open to the outside. If he just waited another second, got a little antsy and went with his first option, but it was well covered. Really lucky that this one doesn't get picked, especially once it got tipped.
3rd and 9 Raiders from the 48 of the Vikings. Wide left is Ginnivan, slot left Ishimura. There's a swing pass to Wilbert, needs a block, gets a block, has the first down, stiff arms one defender, still on his feet inside the 30 down near the 25-yard line. Boy, a nice, well-designed play, and they ran it well.
Yeah, and had Ishimura and Ginnivan out in front, and it was a really well-thrown ball. This is not the easiest throw to make because he's running parallel with the line of scrimmage, and he led him just right so he could catch it in stride, turning up the field, gets 2 good blocks on the outside, pick up the first down.
So 1st and 10 Raiders. See where they spotted. Looks like it's at the Vikings 26-yard line. And out of the gun, Brown with the snap, give it. There's Wilbert, not much doing. He stopped and then he got thrown out, unable to pick up anything on that carry.
Well, they had the 6-man line, and then they blitzed both linebackers, just saying we've had enough of this run towards the middle and shutting everything down quickly. Really brought more people than the Raiders could block.
3 carries, 27 yards unofficially for Wilbert. 2nd and 10 Raiders from the, it looks like they got it spotted about the 28-yard line maybe. This time under center is Brown. Pitch, sweep left side. Oh, it had some penetration. Wilbert's, again, no gain. And, boy, they tried just to pitch it, sweep it left, and nothing there.
Yeah, and it's the end of the line on the left side just completely whiffed on the block, quite frankly. And then, was kind of running backwards like, oh, my goodness, that's my man. But it really blew the whole play up. The guy didn't make the tackle. Wilbert was able to juke him, but it ended the play quickly just with the quick penetration.
And actually looks like it lost a couple yards, so it'll be 3rd and 11 Raiders. Football just inside the 30 of the Vikings. And out of the gun, the snap, Brown, quick hitch, left side. That's Ishimura, avoids the first tackler, but in the 2nd and 3rd, mop him up about the 24.
And technically he's not down.
Now they're getting, yeah, apparently so. Strand was trying to give him the help, drag him along, get a few extra yards, I guess.
Well, he was laying on the defenders and no part of his body actually touched the ground. The official was just standing there watching it. Certainly forward progress was stopped, but interesting that they just kind of let that go.
So now the Raiders with a 4th and, well, they're going to try a field goal. It'll be spotted at the 31-yard line, making it a 41-yard field goal attempt. Vikings do have one player back in the event it's short. Trey Harris out of Wilbert's hold. Good snap, gets it down. Boy, put it up, but looks good. It is good. 41-yard field goal by Trey Harris, and the Raiders lead at 9-0.
Boy, heck of a kick, and no question he can kick it that far. I wasn't too worried about the distance. And that's 2 games in a row now. He's come through both on this right hash, so maybe that's the side of the field that his eye tends to like, but well-struck ball.
Well, it was well struck, and it actually had a little draw on it at first. When it first went up, I thought it was going to draw too much, but as it kept going, it had plenty of room to get over. The officials under the bar took a long look. I was waiting for their signal and finally gave it. So a 41-yard field goal by Trey Harris, and the Raiders stretch the lead to 9-0 with 5:14 left here in the first quarter. So the Raiders score a touchdown and hold on defense, get a field goal, so a good start.
Yeah, couldn't ask for too much more, I don't think. Not quite as much running room on that drive as the first drive. So we'll see if the Raiders are able to keep it up, the momentum they've gotten here at the start.
Back to receive the kick, Josh Pierce along with Gavin Larson. Harris, after his 41-yard field goal, tees it up at the 40. High end over end kick. Retreating inside the 5 and dropping the football is Pierce. Raiders will get down there, try and cover it, and he is hemmed in. They missed the first tackle, but boy, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th got him just outside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, as soon as he dropped that ball, he was in trouble. Good pursuit and then stayed in the lanes nicely too. They didn't all converge on the ball until they got down to the ball. So good job by the coverage team, which has been the case pretty much all year. Raiders have had good kickoff team.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to place it at the 7-yard line. So that's where the Vikings will start. 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line with 5:06 left first quarter in Frontenac, 9-0 lead. In the quarterback, Daquan Johnson, the sophomore. Running back lining up behind him this time. That looks like it's Malik Robinson. And a little movement back there, but to give it to him and rolling the right side and putting it up and complete for the first down. And he's out to about the 22-yard line, so a nice gain on first down.
Well, and that was close to a late hit as well, but not called on the far side.
So 4 completions, 7 attempts, 49 yards. Now 1st and 10 for the Vikings. And they're at their own 21-yard line after that first down completion.
Now it's a case you just have to keep that quarterback in the pocket. If he gets to the outside, dangerous things can happen.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Again, Johnson out of the gun with Robinson, the blocking back behind him. And movement, as it looked like, well, I tell you, the new running back there, Malik Robinson, I thought he got a little antsy that last completion, and I don't know if it was him, but it looked like some movement there. They were kind of leaning, going in that direction. They were trying to give it to Robinson to sweep the left side, but the penalty called 5-yard mark off, and the Vikings will face a 1st and 15 from their own 16-yard line.
Yeah, I agree. Earlier, I thought he was moving forward. That time, I thought he was actually moving more laterally, which he should have been allowed to do, but officials felt that it was a false start, so a break for the Raiders.
Now the Vikings change the formation, have a wide out both sides, a slot both sides, which they've been going the majority of this first quarter. Again, Johnson, the quarterback, out of the gun with Robinson, the running back, behind him. Looking to throw, looking left side. Oh, and he is going to be hemmed in and dragged down. Boy, they had, Ron Gidovich was there, but doing the damage was at Mays in there.
Well, and this time they were going to fake the little quick hitch and try a double move on the outside. They kind of crisscrossed the receivers, and the slot receiver faked to the outside like he was going to block and then tried to turn up. The Raider defensive back's not fooled, by the way, but no time. Pass rush got to him quick and hemmed him in where he couldn't scramble, but they were looking to get a big play that time.
So 2nd and about 20 for the Vikings from their own 12-yard line. Dropping back, Johnson. Little screen, and it is complete. It is caught by Larson, but he went down to his knees, so, boy, a short gain of a couple.
Yeah, this was well read by the rest of the Raiders, though. You had a couple linebackers read it well. One of the weak safeties had it. This play was pretty well covered, so even if he catches it standing up, I'm not sure he was going to get very far.
Third and 18 for the Vikings from their own 13-yard line. Looks like about every down, a passing down here for Parsons. Again, another. Johnson puts it up for grabs along the near sideline and turns around, and boy, you can't.
Yeah, they're going to call pass interference, and really McDaniel's in pretty good position right here, but he never turns and looks for the ball. And so the receiver, the ball's a little underthrown, so the receiver slows down, and there's a little bit of contact made, but he never turned around and looked for the ball. If he turns that head and finds the ball, even if there's a little contact, it's probably okay.
And I think, is that automatic first down? Usually is.
Yes.
I was going to say, because if they get the mark off, it wouldn't. They had a 3rd and 18, but they already got the one over on the far stake, and had to turn around and have him covered. I thought maybe he got torched there and took off running, and the pass well underthrown. They just sent him down the sideline to fly and couldn't make connections.
Now they're not giving them an automatic first down.
No, they aren't.
They're still saying it's 3rd down.
3rd and 5 for the Vikings from their own 27-yard line. So big 3rd down here after that big penalty. 4:06 left first quarter. Frontenac the 9-0 lead. If the Raider defense can hold here. Looking to throw. He's got a man open. That's Larson, and it is complete. And boy, I think he got the first down.
Yeah, just barely. Well, they didn't give him a very kind spot, but I think he's still going to have the first down. But well, they didn't exactly give him a whole lot of forward progress.
6 completions, 9 attempts, 57 yards, and a 1st and 10 for the Vikings, now at their own 32-yard line.
Yeah. You hate to give up a first down there, but that's also a throw that you kind of have to give them.
Motion right to left. That goes Yates. They fake the handoff, and Johnson's going to try and keep it. Boy, nothing doing as he is hemmed in. Boy, a number of tacklers there. And let's see, was that Mays in there again? It looked like Ishamir was helping out. Cummins in that defensive line, and not much going for the run game as far as the Vikings go.
Yeah, and I don't know if they read that or if that was called. If they were reading that, boy, he absolutely should have given it. I thought the back probably could have got to the corner, to get to the edge and turn it up. But he decided to keep it, and then there was just nothing there in the front. Mays, again, after not being able to play last week with an injury, getting back right where he left off as far as penetration.
Vikings 2nd and 13 from their own 28. Low snap, and Johnson comes up with it, and then he dumps it off. Boy, a nice play, and found a man open, and it is complete. And he is going to gain a few yards as that was Patrick Lodeholtz, who he was there, and a good effort by Johnson. And he was about ready to get stuck, and he put it up for grabs, and 5 yards gained.
Well, another broken play, and that's where they can be more dangerous than their called plays, quite frankly. But Wilbert does a good job of spotting this one coming up from free safety, which he is already like 15 to 20 yards deep where he's lined up. So he ran a long way to make that tackle, and it's a good thing he did, or there may have been some open field.
3rd and 9, Vikings from their own 32-yard line. 2:28 left here in the first quarter. Frontenac the 9-0 lead. Another big 3rd down situation. Johnson with the football out of the gun and being pressured. And he's able to turn, well, he ran him out of bounds as that was Ishamir putting the pressure on, also Mays over there, and I thought he got that corner turned, but he lost about 5.
Yeah, and it was Pyle, a defensive end on that far side, that almost let him get all the way around, but I think tripped him just enough where he couldn't turn it up effectively.
Punting situation for the Vikings, and dropping back Cody Stevens. He is standing back about at his 13. Back to receive the kick is Jake Wilbert. Avoid any mistakes. Kind of a high snap, some pressure, gets the punt away. Nice kick. Wilbert comes over, drops the football, and he's able to get on it. Boy, a little lackadaisical. He kind of wandered over. I don't know if he saw that cover man or not, but he was able to get on it back at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, that was close. He just did beat the defender to the ball.
So 1st and 10, Raiders will start from their own 39-yard line with 2:03 remaining first quarter. Frontenac at 9-0.
And we got a good one going on with Pittsburgh and Bonner Springs. Been back and forth. Pittsburgh started with a field goal. Bonner Springs answered with a touchdown. Now Pittsburgh has answered with a touchdown. It's 10-7 Dragons.
Raiders 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Again, Brown out of the gun. Fakes the give, rolls to the right, has got some room. If he decides to keep it, and he is going to keep it, and he's out near midfield. Oh, he gets a crackback by Ishamira. He unloaded.
And they threw a flag.
I was going to say, they're not letting him do that anymore. And, boy, that negates a nice 11-yard run by Peyton Brown.
Yeah, and I don't think you're allowed that block at all anymore, although we've seen that block a couple times this year go uncalled. But I think this is the appropriate call. Now, in my opinion, he did not hit him in the back.
That was called a block in the back, and that did not happen.
No, he hit him on the shoulder, in the side, with his head towards the front. Not a block in the back whatsoever.
That I would debate. They're getting away from that. You know, that it used to be the kind of the headhunter, the crackback, whatever you want to call it, in about every level. They've kind of done away with that, and you kind of saw that, but I don't go there. Okay, they got personal foul block in the back.
I think the personal foul, I think this is probably a good call. If you go by the rule, this is probably a good call. I'm not sure this officiating crew knows exactly how to call it, quite frankly, but I think letter of the law, this is a good call. I can't terribly be upset with Ishamira, though. This is a play that, you know, you grow up making, you always see, and I know they're trying to get rid of it, you know, get that block out of the game, but I have a hard time blaming Ishamira for it because, you know, in old school football, that was clean as can be.
1st and 14 for the Raiders from their own 35. Drops the snap, does Peyton Brown, but gets around the corner, and he runs out of bounds to the 40 and able to pick up 5.
Well, at least we can say that's the first one of the night. We've made it through almost the first quarter without a fumbled snap. Of course, last week, the Raiders just couldn't hardly hold on to the ball underneath the center. So far tonight hadn't been an issue, but this time Brown bobbles it, is able to make something out of nothing, though.
And they've been pretty consistently going with that shotgun on the snap. They haven't been under center much here this evening. 2nd and 9 for the Raiders from their own 41-yard line. Again, out of the gun. Brown, low snap, rolls left, pressure from behind, puts it up, overthrown, intended for Ginnivan, too tall.
And had him open, had a deep curl route where he ran it far enough that if the ball's on him, he's going to have a first down right at the catch. But this one just got away from Brown, sailed over his head, and even the big man not able to have a chance to go up and get that one.
So 3rd and 9 for the Raiders from their own 41-yard line. So a big 3rd down situation here with 1:43 left first quarter, and Frontenac that 9-0 lead. Going wide to the left is Chastain, joined out there by Wilbert. Wide to the right is Ginnivan. Again, out of the shotgun. Brown with the snap. Option left side, gonna keep it. And boy, he's slung down close to the first down. He ended up getting about 8 yards on that carry.
He's going to be a couple yards short. And I like the cut, though. He saw the hole and hit it hard. Cut that thing up, and he just needed about one more step quicker, and he'd have been through there for the first down. But I think the Raiders are going to go for this. Punt team hasn't come on, and the Browns over talking to Coach Smith getting the play, and I think they're going to go for it.
So a 4th and 2 Raiders from their own 47-yard line with 1:07 left here in the first quarter. In Frontenac 9-0 lead. I guess you could try and draw the defense off too, but play clock down to 9. They're trying to get set up. Again, out of the gun. No, they got it, boy, and they bowled over the center, and that's a no-no also. That used to be in the olden days. That was fair game, and they don't let that go anymore.
Yeah, good job with the snap count. Although I think they might have actually been running a play there too.
They were. I think they were.
Just decided to go on 2 to see if they could get it the easy way, and were able to coax Parsons into jumping. It was the nose guard, right on the center of staring at the ball, and couldn't help himself.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders via the penalty route. Football resting at the Vikings 47-yard line, down to 53 seconds left here in the first quarter, and Frontenac with that 9-0 lead. Motion left to right, Wilbert. They give it to Wilbert. Now, what's the penalty here?
It's got to be a false start, I think.
They did. Procedure.
Yeah, I didn't see who it was, but and this near side official's thrown several flags, but he doesn't throw it up in the air where you can see it. He just kind of throws it just on the ground. It's sometimes hard to tell whether it's a penalty or what's going on.
So 1st and 15 Raiders, football resting just outside their own 47-yard line, down to 43.1 seconds left first quarter. Frontenac the 9-0 lead. Raiders get the first down via the penalty route, then the 5-yard mark off on the procedure. So 1st and 15. Wide left Ginnivan, wide right Chastain, slot left is Wilbert. Brown shotgun, gives it to Wilbert on the, he cut into motion. He shakes the tackler inside the 40, 35-point tripped up, brought down about the 32-yard line. Nice effort, nice cutback by Wilbert.
Yeah, and he saw the hole again. He gets a pretty good block on the outside. Roseboro this time, good block. He'd missed one earlier badly, but he stays with his man and pushed him out. Wilbert saw that and cut up inside. They got the linebackers blocked as well. And boy, he just did get a shoelace tripped him up, or he might have gone all the way.
Raiders 1st and 10 now at the Vikings 33-yard line. Boy, a little indecision. Now they're lining up as Brant Chan splits wide left. And Brown out of the gun, looking to go long, pumps. Forces scramble, got a man open left side, is complete. That is Loy, cuts on the inside. He is inside the 25, 20, and boy, he is collared and thrown down rudely inside the 20, but a nice gain.
And this is a good job by Peyton Brown. He wanted to go to the right, but he had all curls on the right side, and he looked at all three guys. No one was really open, and instead of forcing it like he did earlier in the quarter and almost got picked off, this time he comes back to the left and picks up his last read. The quarterback or the running back coming out of the backfield, he hits Loy and is able to convert to a first down. So a really nice play by Brown to not get too antsy, to show some patience and find the open man going through his reads.
That is the end of the first quarter. Frontenac with a 9-0 lead, and on the move offensively, they will have a bit of a breeze to the back here in this second quarter. So, all things considered, the 9-0 lead and inside the Vikings 20-yard line. Pretty good start, pretty good first quarter for Frontenac.
I think Coach Smith's got to be pretty happy overall. The defense has given up a few yards, but I think against this team you can expect that with some of the athletes that they have. Overall, I think the defense has played well. Offense, pretty happy with it. Did have the one drive that stalled out, but you get the big 41-yard field goal from Harris, so you still get points out of it. So overall, I think Coach Smith's got to be happy with the way his team performed in the first quarter.
And you're going to see that the Raiders, obviously, the Vikings still not going to go to the air. I guess they've probably given up pretty much on the ground game here tonight. And
it's really
defended pretty well, but, part of that's the quarterback has been, improvised for about 3 or 4 big plays of the yardage. Unofficially 7 completions, 10 attempts, 62 yards, but that's been on that quarterback when he's made something out of nothing.
That's the only thing they've gotten on the Raiders. If the ends have let him get outside of the pocket on the scramble, that's when Parsons has been able to hurt the defense. Other than that, defense has played quite well.
1st and 10, Raiders. Football resting at the, looks like it's about the 17-yard line. Brown out of the gun. Boy, low snap, rolls back to Brown, forces scramble, and he unloads it. Oh, no, he almost picked it off, almost threw it in the hands of Croy Hogan, but couldn't hang on to it. Boy, that could have been a disaster.
Well, Hogan did us a favor, did Frontenac a favor, because Gavin Larson, he'd have had this ball picked off easily, thrown right to him if it doesn't get knocked down by Hogan. That's a case where Brown, you're outside of the pocket, just throw that thing away. Throw it to the line of scrimmage, but get it out of bounds and just fight to, live to fight another day.
2nd and 10, Raiders from the Vikings 17-yard line. Brown out of the gun. Loy blocking to the right, Wilbert to the left. There's a give to Wilbert. Oh, he loses the football, picks it up, and then he lost it again. And the Vikings say they have it.
And they do. So there's the turnover bug. It's plagued the Raiders earlier in this year, and you get another one right there. And I tell you, he made a really nice cut in the backfield. Looks like he was going to maybe get hit for a loss. Made a really nice cut, and I think somebody just got a hand in there just right and popped it out.
So 1st and 10 for the Vikings after the Raiders turnover, and they'll start at their own 13-yard line with 11:47 left first half, and Frontenac the 9-0 lead. Johnson out of the gun. with the snap, quick hitch, left side, they complete it, and that completion to Devontae Yates, and he's able to pick up, see where they spotted, close to 4
he just
yards.
got a yard. Yeah, he just
he
got
only
a yard.
got a couple, it looks like.
Yeah, and Johnson this time much better. He's a little hesitant. Last time they threw that quick hitch to his side, he kind of waited for the receiver to make a move. This time much more aggressive, able to go make the hit and keep it to just the 2 yards.
2nd and 8, Vikings from their own 15, rolling right. Johnson looking to throw, puts it up, got a man in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, as that was Patrick Lodeholtz, and well-thrown pass, just didn't hang on to it.
And that may be one of the better balls he's thrown, really, on a line in between defenders and just perfectly on target. Really well-thrown ball, should have been caught, should be a first down, but the Raiders catch a breaks, it goes through his hands.
So 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Football resting at their own 15-yard line. Another big 3rd down situation. 11:36 left first half. Frontenac the 9-0 lead. Johnson, the quarterback, the sophomore, out of the gun. Shyview, the blocking back with him, now in motion right to left goes Larson, and Johnson's going to keep it, and he's still on his feet, but able to. It looked like he was going to try and unload it as Kupaloy had him by the ankles, and he's thrown down back at the 11-yard line. Good defensive pressure, couldn't get rid of that one.
Well, and this was a designed run for the quarterback. They pulled the backside guard to lead through the hole, but the penetration by the defensive line.
Another punting situation for the Vikings as back to kick. Cody Stevens in his end zone, back to receive the kick, Wilbert. And here you're going to get good field position. You don't do anything stupid trying to block it and running into the punter or anything like that. And
on the back end, just secure the football.
High snap, some pressure. Boy, low line drive. Takes a hop. Wilbert gets it on the one hop, and he's in Vikings territory already and splits a couple of defenders. Better hang on to the football, and he's brought down at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, he had that thing a little loose a couple of times, and just coming off of the fumble on the last offensive possession, Coach Smith says, hey, you get back out there and handle the ball, but boy, some tense moments there on the punt return. But the Raiders end up with outstanding field position.
1st and 10, Raiders from the Vikings 32-yard line with 10:38 left here in the first half. Frontenac 9-0 lead. Well, it seems like this has been a long first quarter plus.
Yeah, it has.
3 wide receivers right. Tight to the left is Roseboro. Out of the gun, Brown with Lloyd the blocking back. Quick hitch, right side, Ginneman, complete. Gets a block from Wilbert, cuts inside that block, still on his feet. Boy, battled his way to the center of the field, and he is inside the 25, down near the 24-yard line. So had a few yards, but second effort picked up about twice what he was going to get.
Yeah, boy, just really churned those legs. Those feet never stopped. High knees even earned those yards. It's amazing. Parsons has pretty much played this whole first half without a free safety, and yet the Raiders haven't been able to really get anything deep, although they really haven't tried to either.
2nd and 3 Raiders, so no snap. Brown has it, trying to turn the corner, gets it turned. He is at the 15, the 10 before he's run out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, the crowd kind of wanting the late hit. I don't think it was. He made contact with him in the field to play. The crowd, though, after a couple penalties called on Frontenac, wanting one given back, but I think appropriate no call that time. But low snap again, picked that ball up off the ground in the shotgun, did a good job, and showed some speed getting to the outside.
So 1st, and I believe it's 1st and goal. Football resting those right at the 10. See if they put the stakes up on the far side. Well, I don't know. In any event, out of the gun, Brown. There's a give, dive. That is Lloyd. It opens up 5. Touchdown. Boy, oh boy. I don't know. They had that right side. They opened up a hole and scored.
Yeah, big hole on the right side. And he kind of started left, and then he saw it. You could almost see the light bulb go off above his head as he saw the hole, took 2 steps to the right. Big hole you could have driven a truck through, and then there was no linebacker. They were not playing with a free safety, basically, so nobody back there to stop him as he goes ahead and gets into the end zone.
And the extra point attempt. Trey Harris out of Wilbert's hold. And that kick up, boy, plenty long enough. And it is good. 9:42 left first half. Frontenac 16, Parsons nothing. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. 9:42 left first half. Frontenac 16, Parsons nothing. Raiders will kick off. Trey Harris tees it at the 40. And again, back to receive the kick for the Vikings. Drops Devontae Yates, and also back there is Gavin Larson. And a little breeze behind Harris's back on this kickoff. And high end over end kick, and that's going to go into the end zone for the touchback. So Vikings will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 9:42 left in the first half. In Frontenac, the 16-0 lead.
I'm real happy to see the running game on that last drive get things going again, not relying on the passing game, able to get that ground game going. Just one pass on the drive, the rest all runs. And that's what the Raiders need to be able to do.
Yeah, like in that first quarter, they were playing a lot of other kids. They were putting a little, some folks in a little earlier than normal, and defense played pretty well. 1st and 10 Vikings from their own 20-yard line, trailing 16-0. Oh, movement in the line, and yeah, there they got it. So that's going to put the Vikings 5 yards back. They'll be 1st and 15 from their own 15.
I tell you, Rob, Pittsburgh and Bonner Springs lighting up a scoreboard at the end of the first quarter. Pittsburgh 22, Bonner Springs 14.
So offense at Hutchfield and Pittsburgh. Vikings 1st and 15 from their own 15. And Daquan Johnson, sophomore, out of the gun. Rolling right. Boy, trying to turn the corner. Now he's going to keep it, cuts back, and he is going to be brought down. And I think that was Drew Cummins trailing the play, along with Clothier.
And there's a flag down. Again, this near side official, he has thrown a ton of flags. Talking to the Parsons coach, so it must be, they're calling dead ball.
Oh, really?
Illegal procedure.
Unless he thought he saw some movement prior to snap,
He
something
must
along that
have.
line, but that's, you usually stop, get that play stopped, I guess, but I don't know.
Well, and he was talking to one of the wideouts after he got done talking with the coach, so apparently
Yeah.
did call the false
And he
start.
kind of had the hand stretched out like maybe he was back too far off the line of scrimmage to be considered the wide receiver there. In any event, it's going to be 1st and 20 for the Vikings from their own 10. And Johnson out of the gun. The running back with him is Malik Robinson. Boy, there's a little draw play, and Johnson's loose, and he is still on his feet. Raiders had a couple shots at him. He fights his way out to the 25.
Yeah, called all the way with this one. Send everybody deep so you get the DBs going. You get one little kick out block on the end, which he has to go to the outside to not let him go there. And once he gets through the line, it's one-on-one with the linebacker. And Collier was able to slow him down a little bit, but boy, he is shifty and quick out there. So a good call. First time they ran a quarterback draw.
2nd and 6. Vikings football resting just shy of their own 25-yard line. Wide out to each side, a slot to each side. Again, Johnson out of the gun with Robinson, the blocking back behind him, rolling to the right. Tries to turn the corner. Now he puts it over the middle, and it is a nice effort there. Who was trailing the intended receiver? Got a hand in there. Was that Alex Johnson? I believe it was. Did a nice job. Got a hand in there. Looked like it was going to be complete to load holes.
Yeah, the throw a little high, and I gotta be honest with you. I was watching some officials see if there was going to be an interference flag. I didn't think it quite was. I think he timed it pretty well, but you just never know. So good defensive play by Johnson. And they've done some substituting, and like Mays right now is playing defensive end instead of tackle, and you can tell he's just not quite used to it, as they've been able to get to the outside with him playing end.
3rd and 6. Vikings from their 25-yard line. Low snap with it. Johnson going long, far side. Up for grabs. Going to be picked off by Brant Chance. It is, and he's loose. Crosses midfield inside the 40, and boy, he's tapped too as he crosses the 30. Penalty as he got collared, and that's got to be on the tackle. I didn't see any blockers over there, but what a play by Chance.
Yeah, really good coverage over there. Had 2 receivers deep, and both of them were blanketed. Quarterback really just threw this one up almost like a prayer. I don't know if he thinks it's 3rd down, might as well just punt, because it's kind of what it was. Chance makes a play on the ball and then turns, and he is surprisingly fast. Got down that sideline in a hurry. And then I think this is going to be more or less a horse collar, I think.
Personal foul, yes, indeed.
I'm not sure what signal he's trying to make,
but
signal,
I think in any event, you don't have to carry much weight. You can go pretty fast. But yeah, nice effort there, and like you're saying, they had that different look. They actually had Ginnivan and Mays at the ends, and Strand and Cummins at the tackles in there. Just kind of give them a little different look, putting some different people in positions. But like I said earlier, they've been getting some playing time for some folks who haven't been on the field that much, but have performed well.
Well, and I don't know, Rob, I don't know about you, but I feel like Frontenac's been in control of this football game, but you look at the scoreboard, and really it's just a 2-score game right now. So this is important that the Raiders are able to cash in.
1st and 10 Raiders from the 13. There's a pitch. Cooper Lloyd cuts inside the block in the 10, down to the 5, down to the 4. Nice run, nice cut, and he's able to pick up about 9.
Yeah, it's really good hard running, and notice this time with the pitch, Brown stared down the running back, the pitch man, make sure he's there. Of course, last week, back went the wrong way, and Brown really didn't look, just kind of pitched it blindly and gave up the safety last week. So, but this time does a good job eyeballing that pitch back, gives him a good ball to handle and turns it into something.
1st and goal. Well, actually 2nd and 1 for the Raiders from the Vikings 4-yard line. Brown out of the gun, running back behind him, Wilbert. Back to the left side is Lloyd. Boy, he rolls the snap, gives it to Wilbert right side, and he's going to go in for the score from 4, but boy, that snap was rolled back to the quarterback.
Yeah, and I don't know if the center is worried about the nose guard, if he's having a difficult time with him. I've seen him cutting a few times, so maybe that's just been a difficult block, and that's 3 or 4 times now that snap's been low. And you're right, this one, Raiders lucky, it rolled straight. Football's not circular. That thing could go any which way. Rolls straight back to him. Then Wilbert, good hard run. Good blocking by the line. Right side of that line, getting it done again.
Extra point coming up. Trey Harris, plenty long enough. This one is good. 7:23 left, first half. Frontenac leads Parsons 23-0. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call Steve Stockert at Wilbert & Towner, 620-231-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert & Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. 7:23 left, first half. Frontenac 23, Parsons nothing. And like you said right before that score, you kind of think you have it in hand, but it's still 16-0. Explosive they are. A couple of near misses that you could have cut that lead right in half quite quick. That makes you feel a little better, but it just seems like kind of controlled things. But 23-0. They put some points on the board, so we'll see. The defense is going to have to hold them another time.
Yeah, lets you breathe a little bit easier, though, I think, on that sideline, getting some more points.
Harris kicks off, end over end. Boy, again, put her in the end zone. Boy, putting the foot to it. The lone exception, the first extra point kind of waffled up there, but everything else, 41-yard field goal, the other extra points, and the kickoffs have been excellent.
Yeah, those last two landed 5 yards deep in the end zone, so
You know, you don't have that option to bring it out. Once it crosses that goal line, it's a touchback, and they got to come out to the 20. So if you had that option every time to have the offense start from the 20, the defense would be more than happy.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 Vikings will start from their own 20-yard line. Out line to the left is Devontae Yates, joined out there by Patrick Lohlholtz. Wide to the right is Zeke Lyons, and also Gavin Larson. Shotgun, rolling right, putting it up, and throwing behind the intended receiver. Boy, making a dive there. That was Cooper Loy. He was right there and almost picked it off. The pass intended for Josh Pierce.
Yeah, and he was getting close to the sideline, so I think the quarterback didn't want to lead him at all. But Loy, with a good effort, he knocked that ball down before it got to the receiver on a dive.
And this is just a case that he doesn't have much time back there. I think his biggest thing is if he's going to scramble or that design play where they did it. But he's being pressured about any time, whether he stands in there or tries to roll.
Well, and the Raiders now have Ginnivan, at defensive end to the quarterback's right, which is where he's going to want to roll more. So he's does a better job of keeping his outside contained.
And this time Johnson's going to try the left side, and he cuts inside a block, and he is out across the 25 near the 27-yard line.
And they're doing more designed runs for him, which makes a lot of sense. He's their best athlete, best player on the field. And, I thought looking at a little bit of the film, he didn't run the ball very much. And the only time he ever did was on a scramble. But they've called several designed runs for him. I think that's a smart move by their coach. Use your best player. He's your best chance.
3rd and 4 Vikings from their own 27-yard line with 6:45 left first half. Frontenac 23-0 lead. Again, a wide out to both sides, a slot to both sides. Johnson out of the gun with Scheibe, the running back. Quick hitch, right side, puts it up. Boy, and the intended receiver, Larson, it sailed right by him. It falls incomplete. Lloyd was on defense there, but Lloyd wasn't looking for the throw. Also out there was Josh Pierce, but I believe that was intended for Larson.
Yeah, I'm not sure either receiver knows who that was supposed to go to. Both of them were looking to set a block as if the ball was going to be thrown to the other one. So complete miscommunication for Parsons by their wide receivers.
Another punting situation. Back to kick is Cody Stevens, and back to receive the kick for the Raiders as they put Brendan Ishimura back there. Had Jake Wilbert, but Ishimura's there. Again, here you don't want to do anything stupid, the roughing the kicker or anything like that. Boy, a high snap, get some pressure. It's not a low line drive. And it takes up. Ishimura takes it and goes the far sideline, crosses midfield, still on his feet, down to the 45, down to the 43. And again, it's taking that one hop, and they can get it on the run, and that first defender doesn't make the stop. Get a good return.
Yeah, he does a real nice job here because you want to see him field that ball. Although that time, to save the yardage because it's going to roll a long way, I wouldn't have blamed him that time if he let it go because the defender was pretty close, but the ball popped kind of high, so it's an easier grab. Made one man miss and had a good return, so really good job by Ishimura. And showing better ball security overall tonight as well.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Vikings 44-yard line. Wide out to both sides. Again, out of the gun. Boy, another low snap. Brown, the hitch, it's complete. And that is Ishimura loose along the far sideline, needs a block, and he is going to be thrown out about the 5.
Yeah, just a quick hitter. Boy, it almost got knocked down at the line of scrimmage, too. And Ishimura with good hands makes the grab. And if he had slowed down just a little bit, he could have got one more block, but he tried to just outrun everybody. He didn't quite make it, but a big gain for the Raiders on just the quick hitch again.
So a big gain, and the Raiders have another 1st and goal. And he is spotted just shy of the Vikings 6-yard line. Wide left is Ginnivan, slot left is Ishimura. Brown out of the gun, behind him Wilbert, his right Loy. They give to Wilbert, tries the right side, boy, nothing as he tried to cut back, and then he got popped. No, nothing doing as he tried to cut it back, and I believe they're going to say he lost a yard or two.
Well, I wonder if there was a little miscommunication here because the offensive line really didn't, it was almost like they were pass blocking, like it was a play action pass. They didn't get any push, and they just kind of were standing there with their man, and it was just odd how that play unfolded.
2nd and goal Raiders from the Vikings 8. Motion right to left. That's Ishamir. Low snap. Brown comes up with it, steps through the defenders, and he's going to go in for the score from 8. Boy, oh boy, another low snap. And Hayden Brown reacted well, just took it up in the middle and scored.
Well, and his knee was close to being on the ground when he picked the ball up. And this time, Parsons goes with the blitz, but the blitz doesn't get home. And once the first man missed, there's nobody left. He gets through the line, nobody left on the defense. He's able to score pretty easily. But, well, I tell you, I just can't believe the snap problems that the Raiders are having again this week.
And the extra point attempt coming up. Wilbert's hold for Harris. That kick is up. And it is good. 5:28 left first half. Frontenac stretches its lead to 30-0. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh remains a local favorite. If you're in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, Bittner Motors has a large selection of late model, low mileage vehicles to choose from. Whether it be a car, truck, or SUV, Bittner Motors will warranty all their vehicles 100% for parts and service. And if you can't find what you're looking for on the lot, they will find it for you. Bittner Motors, 1018 North Broadway, Pittsburgh.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We have 5:28 remaining in the first half. Frontenac leads Parsons 30-0. And the Raiders to kick off again. Trey Harris tees it up at the 40. And a bit of a south breeze behind his back. Nothing like during the day, the gusty, or even earlier. But always having a good night kicking. And that's one of those things. That's puzzling. It's mind-boggling. You know, the shotgun snap hadn't been the problem. His under center had been the problem. They haven't done much of that tonight. And that's something they're going to need to get ironed out. End over end kick, and boy, into the end zone once again. And the Vikings will start again, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, the snap problem really is, I don't understand it. You know, it is the second center of the year, but he started in week 3. You know, he had to go in and play center, so he's been there since halfway through the 3rd game. You would think they'd have that any problems they'd have ironed out. You know, we're in week 7 now, but it's still just an issue. I really think it's the pressure that they're trying to bring up the middle. I think he's probably a little more worried about his block than the snap right now.
So the Vikings will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Next time, a couple of running backs back there with Johnson. That's Lodeholtz along with Robinson. Give Robinson left side. Boy, it looked like he had a bit of an opening, and then he got stood up and thrown back. No gain.
Yeah, Alex Johnson, the safety / outside linebacker, did a great job of being aggressive. Came up, filled the hole, got a nice tackle into his thighs, able to push him back, and maybe even maybe not quite a yard loss, but certainly didn't pick anything up. Good to see him being more aggressive in this game. Or when the game first started was, I thought, just a little bit passive. Now getting a little more into it.
Vikings 2nd and 10 from their own 20. And Johnson, a couple of blocking backs joining him, rolling right, and boy, he split the defender. Actually, a nice effort there by Genron, turning him in, but he couldn't hang on to him, and he's able to pick up a couple of yards.
And Johnson showing good strength, quarterback, and last year was a real slight kid as a freshman, faster than all get out, shifty, till he's put on a little bit of weight, got a little bit stronger, still has the shiftiness, can add a little strength to break a couple tackles.
7 carries, 6 yards unofficially for Johnson. 3rd and 7 for the Vikings. Football resting just outside their own 22, just shy of the 23-yard line with 4:10 left first half in Frontenac. That 30-0 lead. Wide out to both sides, slot to both sides. Single blocking back, Robinson behind Johnson, has the snap, and nice effort there as Mays, I'll tell you what, Mays must have missed playing last week because he's been everywhere, and now one of the Raiders a little sluggish getting up, and that was Drew Bollinger, and I don't know, maybe he caught a leg whip or something like that.
Yeah, there were bodies flying all over the place. I think he got hit in the head, and he just kind of tapped his head. So they're going to have to take a look at him.
Yeah, they're helping him. And that's one of the players, he's went down to a knee now, and that's one of the players who's getting a little time earlier than usual right tonight. And Yeah, he went and sat down, and they're going to take all the precautions now. He must have got a blow to the head.
Yeah, he's been a starter on JV and has played well both sides of the ball. Played well at middle linebacker, played well at tailback. And I think this may have been almost one of those leg whip. Bodies were kind of flying as that quarterback came through, and might have even got a little friendly fire. Not that there's nothing you can do about that. Certainly nothing intentional or anything like that. We'll hope that it's nothing too severe.
He's walking kind of gingerly. I don't know if he got maybe in the leg too or something, but I don't think
he's very steady
right
now.
No.
And I venture a guess that might be the last we see of him tonight.
Anyway, the Vikings will face a 4th and 8 from their own 22-yard line. 3:41 left here in the first half. Frontenac a 30-0 lead, and the Vikings another punting situation. So that means Cody Stevens will drop back, and again Brendan Yashamira back to receive the kick. Again, this is. You mentioned it earlier, this is one of those positions you don't want to do anything stupid down. You know, you're going to have that lead and you can get the ball if you don't, run into the punter or something along those lines. And, play it safe, I guess, is the term I'm looking for. And get the ball back, and you got 3:38 to put some more points on the board before halftime. Some pressure. Gets up and went, nice high spiral this time. And Shamira, I don't know, did he call for the fair catch? I think his head went up a little bit, but he made the catch and went down to his knees about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think he got the hand up in a smart play. Nice hang time. Good kick, I tell you. Kickoffs for Parsons was deep kickoff inside the 5. The punter, I believe it's the same kicker.
Yeah, it is.
He's doing both.
Cody Stevens.
He's got a pretty good leg on him.
So the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line with 3:26 left here in the first half in Frontenac. Trying to add to a 30-0 lead.
I keep waiting for the double move. The Raiders have gone with the short passing game time and time again. Keep waiting for that double move to come up to try to get the big play.
And they do make this change at center. Cal Strand in there, and I know he hasn't been taking any in the shotgun, and Brown is loose. He's inside the 30. Oh, he loses the football after he's hit from behind. It's picked up by the Vikings, and Strand throws him out at the 30-yard line. Boy, is Gavin Larson right there, but Brown, what a run. Cut it back and
never saw him.
Didn't hang on to the football.
He never saw him. He gets tracked down from behind as he's running diagonally. Never saw the defender coming. It was a really good hit that was put on him. But boy, he made a heck of a play too. They run the zone read. He reads it perfectly, keeps it, cuts it up the middle. There's a huge hole right side of the line. Did a great job. Brings it back to the near side, and he just never. I don't think he ever dreamed that any defender was coming that way. Surprise hit, and the ball comes out.
So 1st and 10 Vikings. They'll start at their own 30-yard line after the Raiders' second turnover with 3:12 left here in the first half and 30-0 lead. I mentioned Strand went in at center, has played center past years, but not this year. And so I don't know that he's been under there, but they did go make that change like we kind of suspected. There's Larson, tries to sweep the left side, and he is brought down for no gain. And boy, somebody coming. It looked like it was over. Is that Johnson again?
Yeah, it was Johnson. And I tell you,
play.
Yeah, he does, because he gets to the outside, gets around the defensive end, which really on that play, the defensive end does not have outside contain. Johnson is being blocked and being blocked to the inside. Manages to come off of it and get into the legs of the ball carrier. If he doesn't make that play, they've got something going on the far side.
So 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Football at their own 30-yard line. Wide out to both sides, slot to both sides, rolling to the right side. That's Johnson. He's trying to turn the corner. Boy, he lofts it up, and it is caught. Nice throw and catch. And on the receiving end there was Nolan Prohl, and he's able to pick up about 15 yards.
Well, and just a subtle little move by the quarterback. As he's rolling out, it looked like he might not get to the edge. He did just a little juke to the inside, one little step, and it stopped the defensive end, let him get to the outside, and then just a touch pass along the sideline. As the safety then is in no man's land. Do I come up for the quarterback? Do I stay back on the receiver? Came up for the quarterback just enough.
So 1st and 10 Vikings. Football just outside their own 45-yard line with 2:26 remaining in the first half. Trying to cut into that 30-0 Frontenac lead. Motion left to right, goes load Holtz. They fake the handoff. Johnson tries to turn the left corner, does, cuts inside, and the ball is loose. And it looks like the Raiders come up with it. And, boy, Johnson, a nice effort, was able to get out there, found himself loose, and then it looked like somebody come up from behind and grabbed him.
Yeah, got a little bit loose with the ball as he was trying to make one more extra cut. Ball popped out, and I don't think anybody on the field saw it for a couple seconds. Kind of laid there for a second or two before one of the Raiders jumped on it.
So 1st and 10. Raiders will start from the Vikings 49-yard line with 2:17 left first half and a 30-0 lead. Again, Brown, the quarterback, out of the gun. A couple of blocking backs with him. Wilbert along with Loy. And a quick right side. Oh, my. Right through the hands of the intended receiver. That was Ishimura, and boy, catch should have been made.
Yeah, that was a bullet that was thrown to him, though. And I suppose you have to throw it hard. And you feel like you do have to make that catch, but it wasn't the easiest one that could have ever been made.
2nd and 10, Raiders. The Vikings, actually, where they got the ball resting, it looks like it's more closer to the 48-yard line. Coming wide left, Chastain, joined out there by Ishimura. And out of the gun with Brown. Wilbert behind him. Good snap. Going to give it right side. Moving the pile down to the 45-yard line. I believe that was Wilbert in there. Did they?
It was Rayo.
Rayo. That's why he didn't look like him, actually, after he started carrying the football.
Yeah, and they brought Bevins in at the right tackle, and they ran right behind him. They got a halfway decent push and then good hard running by Rayo.
So wait, 3rd and let's call it 7 for the Raiders. Football resting shy of the Vikings 45-yard line, down to a minute 38 left here in the first half, and Frontenac with 30-0 lead. Now they're going to try Brown under center with a single running back behind him. It's a snap, pitch, sweep, left side. That's Lloyd, needs a block, gets a block inside the 30-yard line, and flirting with the 25, and a nice effort by Cooper Lloyd.
That's Rayo again, getting the toss. Yeah, 23 and 33, easy to make the mistake. But boy, good job on the outside of sealing that edge. Had a big corner. I was kind of looking at him going, turn it up, go. And then it finally did, and able to get a nice first down, but well blocked on the outside.
Nice effort by the sophomore. Rail with unofficially 4 carries, 36 yards. 1st and 10, Raiders now at the Vikings 27-yard line. Oh, high snap. Brown comes down with it, rolling right, looking to throw, puts it up, and in and out of the hands of intended receiver Brendan Ishimura.
You know, at that time, not a lot going on for the Raiders on the pass game, but at least he throws it where only the receiver has a chance to catch it, no chance of an interception. And boy, a little lucky the Raiders didn't get called for holding on the pass block. Started out, I was watching one lineman in particular, and he started out with a great block and then basically tackled the guy as he was falling down. A little lucky, no holding called.
2nd and 10, Raiders from the Vikings 27-yard line. Getting out of the gun is Brown. A minute 9 left, rolling right. Looking throwback, Ginneman. No, now they got it underneath, and it is complete, and that is Roseboro for the score. Boy, what a well-designed play, as Ginneman was actually open, running the post, but they drag it underneath was Roseboro, and 27-yard touchdown pass.
That's right. This is the old tight end drag. You get the quarterback, he'll roll just a little bit to the right. You get all the receivers going to the right. Ginneman, he might have been open, but he was a decoy. Draw the defense to the middle of the field. Tight end on the right side slips underneath everybody, goes out to the left side, wide open, easy throw, catch and throw, and touchdown.
So the extra point attempt, Trey Harris out of the hold of Wilbert, and a line drive, and no good, wide left. Minute left here in the first half. Frontenac leads at 36-0. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Southern. A minute left first half. Frontenac leads Parsons 36-0. The Raiders to kick off. And again, Trey Harris, the honors. And it's time back to receive the kick. Gavin Morrison back there. And also Josh Pierce. Harris the approach. Oh, high end over end, booms it. That's in the end zone. So a touchback, and the Vikings start from their 20.
That was about 7 yards deep that time. You know, and that's big, and especially a game like this. Parsons, with the athletes that they do have out on the field, boy, kick return is a good opportunity for them to get a big play. So nice weapon that you don't even give them a chance at it.
So 1st and 10, Vikings will start from their own 20. Again, a minute remaining first half in Frontenac, the 36-0 lead. We're trying to update you on some scores at halftime. Also, the unofficial stat scoring summary and some of the other goings on around Frontenac schools. That'll be at halftime, but we have a minute left here in the first half, and see if the Vikings can cut into that Raiders 36-0 lead. Again, Johnson, the quarterback, couple blocking backs with him. Rolling right, pressured, puts it up. Boy, and I'll tell you what, boy, it was dropped. That was Josh Pierce, and he was looking to go somewhere before he had the football.
Yeah, exactly. Turned his head and wanted to run with it before he secured it. And another good throw. And you know, they like these like flood routes that Frontenac likes too, especially when he rolls out. They'll do the flood. They'll have receivers running towards the sideline at 3 different levels. And in the zone coverage that Frontenac plays, there's really only 2 defenders out there. So one man almost has to be open. And I think Frontenac has been pretty wise in letting them get the shorter throws, not giving up the deep ones.
Vikings 2nd and 10 from their 20. There's a give. They're going to run it this time. And boy, nice effort there. Was that Cummins in the middle got him?
Yeah, Cummins, and I don't know. I think he had him by a fingernail. Somehow just barely got a hand on him, just would not let go. Finally spun him around, got him on the ground for no gain. A heck of a play.
His load holds was stopped for no gain, and again a nice effort because it looked like he may have a little room after he got past the defensive line. 3rd and 10. Vikings from their own 20. Again out of the gun. Johnson talking to Loadholtz. So they go to the left side, and Robinson's to the right, and they're forced to call the timeout with 13.1 seconds left here in the first half. Frontenac leads at 36-0. And again, you know, nearing halftime, and a few concerns, the spots that have concerned in the past, but all in all, pretty good first half. I'm sure, you know, Frontenac going to be happy with at least 36-0 lead right now.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what they do if they stick with Strand taking from tackle, leaving him at center. They've had good snaps since. They brought Bevins in to play the tackle spot. So far, he's done a pretty nice job. And you know, he's a younger player, but if he can be a guy that can come in and play well at that tackle spot, that may solve a lot of the problems the Raiders have had on offense. And by the way, Rob, seeing Bollinger now, he's leaving the field. Shoulder pads off, the trainer walking with him, and he's actually getting a little assistance from another player who's injured. Walking off the field, so definitely done for the night, and I sure hope he's okay.
And there's a give. Left side Robinson, and Cal Strand comes up and throws him down, and then he's joined by some other tacklers. Had him by the jersey. Boy could have let him outside, and got a hold of him and waited for the cavalry to arrive.
Yeah, and the running back is down and in some obvious pain as the siren goes off. It's going to be halftime, but a little concern for the running back there. Was that Malik Robinson
yes.
out there, and well, he's kind of writhing in some pain.
Well, that'll do it for the first half. We go to halftime. Frontenac leads Parsons by a score of 36-0. Again, we're going to take a look at the unofficial stats, scoring summary, and take a look at some area scores. Also, kind of catch you up on what's going on at the Frontenac schools after we take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. You're listening to Frontenac football on 103.5 FM.
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. There's something for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade, A high school team camp available on 2 different weekends with both varsity and JV levels of competition, plus satellite camps throughout the summer. All campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant Amanda David, along with former and current players. For more information, visit them online at lanelordbballcamps.com. Coach Lord and Coach David have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their recruiting at these camps, with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit lanelordbballcamps.com.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
Hi, I'm Ken McGorman. You may know me as a Kansas City Chief, but I'm also a proud graduate of Pittsburgh State University. Pittsburgh State
We're a
offers
family of Crimson and Gold.
2 degree programs,
every
small
day
class sizes, and tuition so affordable. It earned Pittsburgh State a top 10 ranking on Washington Monthly's collegiate best bang for your buck.
Everybody wants to stand out.
But don't take my word for it. Visit Pittsburgh State and see why there's nothing like
At
being a
Pittsburgh
gorilla.
State University.
Learn more at pittstate.edu/BA-gorilla.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southern. We're at halftime. The Frontenac Raiders lead the Parsons Vikings by a score of 36-0 here in this first district contest. And taking a look at the unofficial stats as well as the scoring summary. The Vikings, Daquan Johnson, quarterback, 9 carries, 9 yards. Malik Robinson, a couple of carries, -8 yards. Gavin Larson, a carry, no yards. Lodeholtz, 1 carry. That's Patrick Lodeholtz, and 1 carry for no yards. Through the air, Daquan Johnson unofficially 9 completions, 18 attempts, 79 yards. He was intercepted once, and the Vikings did lose 1 fumble, 2 turnovers in that first half. The Frontenac Raiders, Jake Wilbert, 7 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Brown, 5 carries, 68 yards and a score. Cooper Loy, 3 carries, 28 yards and a touchdown. Alex Johnson, 1 carry, 1 yard and a touchdown. Ryan Rail, 4 carries, 36 yards. Drew Bollinger, 1 carry, 1 yard. And again, Bollinger shaken up in that second quarter and probably not going to see him the rest of this contest. Through the air, Peyton Brown, 8 completions, 13 attempts, 142 yards and a touchdown. And the Raiders did lose 2 fumbles in that first half. The scoring summary goes like this. Raiders scored with 10:31 left in the first quarter. A 1-yard dive by Alex Johnson. The extra point attempt failed. It was Frontenac 6, Parsons nothing, with 10:31 remaining in the first quarter. And with 5:14 remaining in quarter number 1, Trey Harris, 41-yard field goal, made it Frontenac 9, Parsons nothing, with 5:14 remaining in the first quarter. That's the way the first quarter ended. The Raiders led it 9-0. 9:42 remaining in the first half. Cooper Loy scored from 10 yards out. Trey Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 16, Parsons nothing, with 9:42 remaining in the first half. Then with 7:23 remaining in the first half, Jake Wilbert scored from 4 yards out. The extra point by Trey Harris was good. It was Frontenac 23, Parsons nothing, with 7:23 remaining in the first half. Then 5:28 remaining in the first half. Peyton Brown scored from 8 yards out. Trey Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 30 and Parsons nothing, with 5:28 remaining in the first half. Then with a minute remaining in the first half,
Since 1945, Tri-State Building has been helping build the 4-state area, providing quality construction services and dependability at competitive prices. Tri-State Building has a reputation as a general contractor and an authorized Butler builder, which holds experience, quality, and reliability above all other considerations. Tri-State Building has built a multitude of projects and is your full-service design build contractor that can take you from concept to grand opening. For an honest and proven contractor, call us, Tri-State Building.
Hi, I'm Ken McGorman. You may know me as a Kansas City Chief, but I'm also a proud graduate of Pittsburgh
What's
State
the
University.
buzz around
Pittsburgh
Community
State offers
National
more
Bank
than
and Trust?
200 degree
They're talking
programs,
mobile
small
banking,
class sizes, and tuition
instant
so
issue
affordable.
debit
It earned Pittsburgh
rewards,
State a
checking
top
and
10
credit
ranking on
cards. And
Washington
let's not
Monthly's
forget
collegiate
e-power
best
checking,
bang for your
paying
buck
better
list.
than CD
But don't
like
take my
rates
word for
on
it.
a checking
Visit
account,
Pittsburgh State to
plus
see why there's nothing like being a
ATM fee
gorilla.
refunds.
Learn more at pittstate.edu.
Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust. Member
I had no
FDIC.
idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Rob Strandbeck with Randy Southard at halftime. The Frontenac Raiders shutting out the Parsons Vikings 36-0 as the opening of district play, and the Raiders off to a good first half here in this first district contest, and we're trying to keep you up to date on some of the other games in the area, and of course the other district battle tonight as Baxter Springs is at Columbus. I believe we have a score from that at halftime.
Yeah, halftime score Columbus 34, Baxter nothing. I don't think that's too surprising of a score tonight. Other halftime scores, Colgan 42, Yates Center nothing. You have Galena 34, Cherryville nothing. A little bit more of a blowout than I think some people thought that might be. Then in the third quarter, you have Pittsburgh trailing Bonner Springs 29-22, although I did see Pittsburgh was driving, trying to tie that one up. And then this one, to me, a bit of a shocker. Girard and Anderson County in the third quarter, Anderson County 6, Girard nothing.
And that's at Girard, so of course that's kind of an interesting score. And then you've got, trying to think, you've got Burlington as the, I was trying to think of the other thing. Burlington, Iola, right, because we played Iola last year, I recall, after it shook out of district play. But, yeah, kind of an interesting score from Girard. So those are scores that we have been kind of keeping an eye on. And, of course, next week, the Frontenac Raiders at home, a big one against Columbus Titans, while the Parsons Vikings will take on Baxter Springs. And trying to think of some of the activities going on at the school. I know a lot of the student athletes, season's winding down, getting to the postseasons, and you know, it's been a good season for many of them.
Absolutely. Let's start with girls golf tonight. On Monday, they had the regionals at Chanute, and as a team, they placed 4th in the regional, so a good finish there. They had 3 state qualifiers, had Autumn Bryant with the 7th place finish. Faith Hill and Brianna Green both also qualified for state. State is set for October 16th. That's Monday at Topeka Lake Shawnee Golf Course in Topeka. So good luck to the girls heading up to regionals, and an excellent year for the girls golf team on a whole. Looking at cross country, Thursday, yesterday, they had the league meet at Columbus. The girls as a team got 3rd place. They had 2 all-league runners. Jessica Peterson got 2nd place, so great job by her, and Elizabeth Mosier finished in 10th, so 2 all-league performers from the girls. The boys as a team finished 5th, and the boys this year very young. Their 2 best runners from last year are actually playing football this year, so hard to replace a couple of the kids that were doing really well. But the boys are very young, promising for years to come. Next up is the regional meet. That is in Burlington. That's not until Saturday, October 21st. So about a week and or so, a little extra time to get prepared for that one. Volleyball last week, girls were at Southeast on Monday. They went 2-1 over at Southeast. They've improved their record up to 15-15, so gotten back to the 500 mark, which has been, they've played much better in this later part of the season right now. And again, Lady Raiders playing a lot of young girls as well, so they are improving, getting much better. They have got a tournament at Colgan tomorrow, and then Sub-State is next Saturday, and Frontenac is hosting Sub-State in volleyball this year, and that will start next Saturday at 2 o'clock. So hope to get a lot of Raider fans out to see that, support the girls as we host Sub-State this year.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, do come out and you'll enjoy it. That's why, I've tried to, in season, go see the wrestling, go see the volleyball, and the energy and the passion is there, and especially when you get to that postseason, it really amps it up, and you'll guarantee you have a good time.
I've gone the last 2 years. I've gone to the volleyball Sub-State at least, and Gerard's hosted it the last couple of years, and it is intense. You have rivalries that aren't just football rivalries or baseball rivalries. I mean, there are volleyball rivalries, and you will see girls teams really go at it and play awfully hard. Great atmosphere at Sub-State. The fans will really get into it too. So it's a lot of fun to go to volleyball Sub-State.
And might also mention, of course, it is homecoming week at Pittsburg State University, and have parade tomorrow morning at 9 downtown Pittsburgh. The football game with Missouri Western at 2. And, of course, the MyTown media stations, the home of the Pitt State Gorillas, and, the flagship station, 100.7 FM. You can listen to all the Gorillas games and get a crowd out there. And, of course, homecoming, always a crowd, and it looks like it's going to be a little warm, but get some folks out there, and that's some of the other goings-on in the area. So, once again, it seems like every weekend it's a busy weekend. It seems like you end up chasing your tail, but there's a lot going on, so get out and enjoy. And it's a fun time of year. I was beginning to think it was going to start feeling like fall there, earlier this week, and all of a sudden, yesterday and today, big time, and probably tomorrow until maybe some rain tomorrow night into Sunday. It feeling like the season was going to change, but it's pretty muggy out there. And I guess maybe when you're into the seventh game of the season, maybe the cramping isn't as big a problem. I haven't really seen any of that, so that's
shouldn't be a problem. But to me, this has been a welcome surprise for it to be a little warm tonight, because the last 2 times we've been down here to Parsons, it has been bitterly cold, wet, and just absolutely miserable for everybody. Even though the stands have a cover, it gets miserable over here when it's cold.
And, we know that we thought maybe, it's nice they got the covered section, I don't know, with the stands, and we thought, maybe being in the press box and everything, that was kind of an advantage. But as I recall, it was kind of a drizzly, driving cold with wind, and kind of wound around in here.
And we have no windows. We're open air here.
I felt like kind of like a big wimp. I was thinking I was getting cold up here while everybody else was sitting out there, but
I don't know why you didn't bring the heater.
I could have done that too. I did that one time too. That was Santa Fe Trail. That was brutal. But, so we were inside even at that. The guys up top were in the video were out in the elements, and they had to take shifts coming down because I had the heater down by where we were broadcasting. They got a little testy when I started charging them for time, but hey, man's got to make a buck when you're in radio. Anyway, we're at halftime. Frontenac Raiders lead the Parsons Vikings 36-0. The Raiders out for their mandatory 3-minute stretch. Waiting for the Vikings to arrive before the start of the second half. Why don't we take another 2-minute break? 2-minute. You're listening to Frontenac football on 103.5 FM. And Rob Strand back with Randy Southard as we're going to keep it here at the stadium as the Raiders lead at 36-0. And again, both teams now out for their mandatory 3-minute stretch before the start of the second half. The Vikings, although I didn't quite see the signal up to the press box after the coin toss, I think the Vikings won it, like you said, deferred kicked off and the Raiders took the football. So I'm guessing the Vikings, of course, will take the football, and I guess the Raiders would probably go ahead and keep the breeze to their back there in the third quarter. We shall see.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will probably come out with their starters on the field at the start of this third quarter, and then if you get a defensive stop, get the ball, maybe get a score, then you can start substituting even more. Raiders substituted a lot in the first half, a lot of younger players getting in, but it wasn't like the whole JV came in. It was just, a few kids here and there. So I think you'll see a little bit of that at the beginning of this third quarter. A, feel a little more comfortable. B, keep getting some work in. You got next week, tough game with Columbus. You're going to want your kids used to being able to, going out there and playing the whole game. I don't know if that may have been an issue last week or not. You had 2 weeks in a row where the starters didn't play a whole lot, and then they're asked to play the whole game and maybe just not used to it as much. So I think you'll see the starters for a series or two, especially if the Royals. I did that again, Rob. If the Raiders can.
Those Royals, that's a never-ending season.
It is. I know. It's just Royals on the brain here. But if they can get a little bit more of a lead, then get everybody out, because you certainly don't want to get anybody hurt in a game like this. It looks like you've already lost one player, albeit the backup, but you hate to see any of the starters go down.
And again, the team's out stretching, and of course they have the mandatory 3-minute coming out of the halftime, and which they need, and again, that'll help you stay away, hopefully, from some of the cramping and the like, and the injuries, and like I said, if you can maybe get the starters out there, maybe a couple of series here to start the second half, and then maybe do some substituting. But like I said earlier on, they were putting some individuals in there hadn't been on the field, and that had to be by design to get some guys out there and get them some playing time and early, and some performed very well, and that helps you down the road. Important
minutes. The game certainly not out of hand yet, and a lot of players that hadn't seen a lot of time already in the game. And I think if you're Parsons in this second half, I will say one thing: I have yet to see them bow heads down. They're out there still playing hard, and I think if you're their coach, that's what you want to see. You want to see them continue to play hard and just keep getting better at what you do, and not give up. And go out there and play hard and continue to try to improve. This year, obviously, pretty well a lost year for them, win-wise, but you have to build for next year, as you are having a kid playing quarterback who's just a sophomore. He's got a couple more years, so get better at what you do and get better for the future.
And they have, we mentioned they had a number of injuries that was kind of hampering them now too, but they have, forced to play some young kids now, talented kids, and if you get a sophomore season, a full season on the field, that helps you on down the road. And from what I've been talking to a few of the other schools that are familiar, saying they've got a nice group of freshmen and the junior high coming up, and if the kids stay here, they've got something going, they can get the momentum, but that's the only way you can do it is build and get them on the field and then go from there. But, they had lost a few from the transfer that went to other schools. Reason why, I don't know, would have helped them obviously, but that didn't work out. So you just battle through it, and I know Coach Hurley's trying to, get some things going here, and I think he's heading in the right direction. And like you said, looks like they've had a bad attitude. They hadn't been hanging their heads, hadn't been, shrugging their shoulders and, going to the sideline, but they're competing, and that's what you need to do about this point this season.
I will be a little curious to see how long they leave Johnson in at quarterback, Parsons, because quite honestly, Rob, I heard a couple people on our way in tonight mention that we just don't want to see him get hurt for basketball. Now, that shouldn't be the front or the football coach's concern, but I did hear that a couple of times. Let's just not get him hurt for basketball. So we'll see what the coach does. I say play him and keep getting better. I'd be a little surprised, especially once Frontenac gets a full JV team out there, if he doesn't make something happen and get loose.
So the Raiders will kick off to start the second half. Trey Harris tees it at the 40, again back to receive the kick. Gavin Larson, and joined back there by, that's Josh Pierce. And Ball falls off the tee. A little bit of breeze from the south will be at the Raiders back here in the third quarter. And Frontenac that 36-0 lead as we start the second half. Good coverage has been good when they've had a chance to return it, but Harris has been putting them in the end zone just like that. So a touchback. The Vikings will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
You know, and that's a pretty good kick because you're coming out of halftime pretty cold. You could see it in the first half when he was kicking the ball quite often. You end up kicking the ball a lot farther, but comes right out of the gate, putting one in for the touchback.
So 1st and 10 Vikings. They'll start from their own 20-yard line here to start the third quarter. Frontenac the 36-0 lead, and Columbus coming to town next Friday while Parsons will meet Baxter Springs in the 2nd district game next Friday. Again, Daquan Johnson, the sophomore. Single running back behind him, Scheibe keeps it left side, puts it up, and boy, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Devontae Yates. And there's a case where probably about 3, 4, 5 passes have just been dropped also that were right on the money.
Yeah, I think another case of thinking about running with the ball before you actually secure it, and they've had 2 or 3 drops like that, probably 3 at least tonight. Could have been positive plays.
2nd and 10. Vikings from their own 20-yard line. Again, Johnson with Scheibe behind him. Quick hitch left side. That pass is complete. And boy, the receiver sheds some defenders, loses the football. Now a scramble. One of the Raiders went for it. It squirted away from it, and there's a pile up. And I can't tell you who came up with it, but boy, nice effort there.
Well, they technically still haven't made a signal who got the ball, which makes me think that Parsons may have gotten back on it.
Trying to see, I believe, I don't know if that was Lyons or what who came up with it. They made a nice move and was able to pick up about 15 on that completion.
And somehow, some way, Parsons came up with that ball. The ball was surrounded by Frontenac, but they were able to get in there and get it.
So a 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Football just outside their own 35-yard line. Johnson, the snap, rolling right, puts it up, complete to Larson. Boy, he shakes one defender, but then Jake Wilbert corrals him, and then he's gang tackled, throw him back at about the 32-yard line.
And good pursuit, and those are the ones you've got to give up the completion. You want to let them throw it that short, then you come up, break down, make a nice form tackle, and he made one man miss, but the pursuit was excellent for the Raider defense.
So 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. Football resting just outside their own 37-yard line. Got a wide out to both sides, a slot to both sides. Again, Johnson, the quarterback, out of the gun with the running back behind him, Scheibe. Good snap, give, right, dive up the middle, Scheibe. And he is out across the 40, out near the 41-yard line.
Well, a good hard run by Scheibe because Cummins got some pretty good penetration, hit him maybe 1 yard deep. He dragged him for about 3 or 4 more.
So a 3rd and, let's call it 5 for the Vikings. Football just outside their own 41-yard line with 9:20 left third quarter. Frontenac 36-0 lead. Again, out of the gun is Johnson. Scheibe behind him. Quick hitch left side. That pass is complete. Cuts inside. And boy, not this time, as boy, a host of Raiders made it out there. And well, that turned him in and able to, well, no gain actually.
Yeah, Johnson came up really quick, but was a little bit out of control. But you're right, he slowed him up enough where the rest of the pursuit could come over and get to him.
So 4th and 5 for the Vikings from their own 41-yard line, and looks like they're going to go for it.
At this point, I guess why not?
8:39 left here in the third quarter, and Frontenac 36-0 lead. And Johnson out of the gun, low snap, bobbles it, comes up with it, rolling to the right, biding his time, hemmed in, tries to turn the corner, gets the corner turn, pursuit from behind, puts it up, and that one is good. Oh my! Boy, oh boy. Riley McDaniel had a pick, and he misjudged it, and he's lucky because there was a receiver right behind him.
Yeah, this ball really is well underthrown for the receiver that was open. The Raiders had started to come up as if they, he was going to run with the football and left a receiver completely by himself, standing down at about the 20 or 15-yard line. The ball just underthrown, and then McDaniel has it go right through his hands, but a little lucky the receiver behind him didn't get to it. But good pressure, but boy, you can just see the athleticism, that Johnson has, because it looked like for all the world he was going to get sacked.
So 1st and 10 Raiders from the Vikings 41-yard line, as now they're making some substitution on the offensive side, as that is a give up the middle, and in at quarterback is Jake Beckman. And boy, it's just the dive. Being treated rather rudely was Cale Bridwell.
Yeah, just straight up the middle, and it pretty much starting JV in for Frontenac now. So Coach Smith, and I think it's a running clock now as well. So Coach Smith says defense did their job, and
there was a penalty flag thrown, but they waved it off. I think maybe they thought better of throwing a penalty for him being thrown back after he was stopped, but probably wise. I don't think it was that egregious. Bad.
Agreed.
2nd and 7. Raiders for the Vikings 38. There's a give, and that is Rail once again. He's loose along the far side, and he drags a tackler inside the 25 to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, good job. The right side of the line pushed everything down to the inside, and then Bridwell is the lead blocker, and he gets the kick-out block on the end. Got a satisfactory block. Rayo runs right underneath it, gets to the outside for first down, but good job, right side of the line, really pushing everything down to the inside.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Raiders. Football inside the Vikings 25-yard line. Hassan comes wide left. Staying slot left along with Rayo. Beckman, the quarterback, out of the gun, and he's going to keep the football left side, cuts it up the middle, 20, and hurdles down near the 16-yard line.
Very good read by Beckman. The zone read, the running back, he was going to be tackled for about a 4-yard loss. He pulled it last second, headed up and made one cut straight up the middle for a nice gain, but really good read and then excellent cut, showing that he can run the ball as well.
So 2nd, and let's call it a long one for the Raiders. Football at the Vikings 16-yard line. Beckman, the 5'11", 140-pound sophomore. And rolling right side, that's Johnson. Turns the corner, he's going to score. From 16 yards out, as Alex Johnson, his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, able to gain the corner, and it's Bridwell leading the way that just kind of got a hand on his shoulder that was enough to slow up a defender that allowed Johnson to get to the outside and turn it up for the touchdown. But I tell you, no penetration up the middle. The offensive line doing a nice job in there as the JV, staying with their blocks and doing well.
So the extra point attempt coming up as they get the kicking team in there, the regular kicking team here for this extra point attempt by Trey Harris out of Jake Wilbert's hold. A low snap. Wilbert fire. He's scrambling right side. Boy, it's going to open up for a 2-point conversion, and he strolls in.
Yeah, and I think a smart job by Wilbert. They've had a couple of kicks that haven't looked the prettiest, and those are the ones he kind of misses. I always kind of wonder if maybe the hold's not perfect or something. Wilbert, and you could see the fire call. It was not a fake. Made the fire call. The end took off, and he was just able to outrun everybody around the end to get to 2 points.
So the Raiders stretch their lead to 44-0 with the 4 minutes left here as the clock continues to run here in the 3rd quarter. And Raiders well in hand. They're going to run the clock all the second half apparently. And you saw there the starters were in for about a series, and now they get some of those other kids in there and a nice drive by them.
Yeah, just on defense, when they got the ball back, went to the I think that has to do with the running clock too. With the running clock, you might as well put the JV in and get them some minutes. But you get the defense out there, you get a stop, and then they can call it a night. But I think Coach Smith will be pretty happy with tonight's performance overall, and in a big part of the night too really has been the kicking game. I think that field goal tonight, 41-yard field goal, that's a big time field goal, and could come in handy later on.
Nathan Kaufman kicks off, drives it to the 10, where it is taken by Larson, and boy, he holds up. And
boy, there was a bad block in the back that was not called. Bridwell running down on kick coverage, and I mean, he was shoved in the back severely. And he's walking a little bit slow after it as well.
And the white hat was standing right there. I don't know.
It was in front of the side judge too.
Yeah,
one of the two. I don't mind them letting them play a little bit, but that was severe enough. It was dangerous.
Trying to see, you got Pyle at the end. Also KW Hale on the defensive line, left side at the end. Oh, a low snap goes through the quarterback's legs and back to retrieve it. That is Robinson. Boy, he avoided the first tackler, and then he's brought down back at the 23. So, boy, the snap right through the wickets, right through Johnson's legs. And I tell you, Robinson did well to just come up with it.
Yeah, and I tell you, Buddy Sexton got some penetration on that, even with the low snap, and he was almost right back there with the backs, and really kind of, even once they picked it up, he didn't have very far to go. And give Sexton some credit for getting penetration and hustling back for that ball.
And big loss on that miscue. There's now a 2nd and 20 for the Vikings from their own 24-yard line. Looking to throw Johnson, some pressure, retreating still, puts it up, and overthrown intended for Larson.
Well, good coverage downfield, and they were trying to get a bigger play this time. Had 3 receivers all running deep. But, the tree that they had, though, the receivers all ended up kind of in the middle of the field. Had nothing, checked down late, and had him open, just overthrew him as Bevins finally ended up getting some pressure on him. But good coverage deep as they were trying to get the big play.
So the Vikings will face a third and about 21 from their own 24-yard line. Down to 59 seconds left here in the third quarter. Again, they're running the clock, so abbreviated. Johnson with the snap, out of the gun, pressured, and Pyle throws him down back at the 12-yard line. Boy, not much time there as he was kind of looking around, and boy, his blocking deserted him, and the receivers were heading the other way. He didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, and Pyle did a good job not letting Johnson get outside of him, was able to get enough of an angle on him. As Johnson tried to break the pocket and get to the outside, Pyle said no, spun him around, got a big sack.
Well, punting situation. Again, back to kick is Cody Stevens back to receive the kick for the Raiders. Is Ryan Rail. He stands near midfield. And again, Stevens this time again from his end zone. Nice snap. Waits for it. And boy, nice spiral. Rail calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch, retreating back into the Raider territory and back at about the 48. Yeah, they're going to spot it for you. That's the end of the third quarter. Frontenac leads it 44-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac football on 103.5 FM.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
Southern. We have a quarter to go as Frontenac leads Parsons 44-0. The Raiders will have the football. They switch ends as they will start from their own 48-yard line and heading toward the south goal, heading into a little south breeze this fourth quarter. Beckman under the center drops the snap, and he falls on it back at the 47.
Well, everybody a little bit goosey there, I think, because they had a blitz, both linebackers coming through what appeared to be both A-gaps. So I think the center and the quarterback a little goosey, wanting to get out of there and just not securing it. Now, of course, this is a different center, different quarterbacks, so, but still the same problem.
So 2nd and Second and little, well, about 11 from Raiders from their own 47. And with it, Rayo turns the left corner. And then he's still on his feet. He cut back in. They had him pinned along the sideline, and he looks like he got close to a first down.
And it almost looked like one of the Girard players thought he was just going to run out of bounds and decided not to hit him. He cut it back up, and I think he's right at the sticks. And they are going to give him the first down. But good read by Beckman, too. So the defender was coming in on him quickly, gave it to him at the last second. So good job by the quarterback.
Raiders 1st and 10 from the Vikings 42-yard line. Right to the left goes Brandon Mosier. And there's the give. And boy, it looked like somebody took a pop. It looked like the ball went to the turf, but was able to recover. That was Bridwell.
And Parsons selling out on the blitz, everything up the middle. Bridwell did a good job just to hold on to that ball. And we'll see Beckman the entire second half, by the way, as the next quarterback is, I would assume, the next third-string quarterback, Kubler's been hurt for a couple weeks. So I don't know, we may see Gates, maybe not.
2nd and 10, Raiders. There's a give. Beckman keeps it. Turns the outside. Oh my, he slid through a tackle and he got stood up and somebody drilled him and he's a little shaky getting up.
Yeah, he got bent backwards badly, and I think you are going to see the freshman Ty Gates come in. He was kind of going down to his knees and got hit up high and bent backwards.
I do see Kyle Kubler over there with just the jersey on, so he's still laid up. And
Gates did just run into the huddle with the play, so
5'11", 140 freshman. Out of the gun with the snap, gives it to Rayo, tries to turn the right corner, cuts inside, and gets about a yard down to the 39, maybe the 38.
Well, better job by Parsons of stringing this one out. They still have many of their starters in the game getting their work in, and did a better job stringing that play out, and didn't really give much of a cutback lane for Rayo that time.
So 4th and 7, Raiders from the Vikings 38-yard line with 8:55 clock moving. Frontenac 44-0 lead. Going out wide to the left is Jake McGinney, joined out there by Rayo. Wide to the right, that is Mosier. Rolling left, Gates looking, puts it up, and it's intended. I'm trying to see, was that intended for McGinney, and kind of hung up there and gave the defender time to get in there and get a hand in there and bat it down.
Yeah, and tough to throw, running out to your left and then having to try to throw the ball. Didn't quite square his shoulders enough, and the ball kind of fluttered a little bit on him. But I tell you, I like Gates. I mean, I like Beckman and I like Kubler. I like Gates a lot too. I think he throws a really nice ball and promising quarterback for the future, I think.
So 1st and 10 as the Viking defense holds. Parsons will start from its own 38-yard line with 7:57 remaining, clock moving. Out of the gun, Johnson going long near side. Boy's got the man beat and can't make the catch over the shoulder as the intended receiver was Devontae Yates. But actually probably would have been out of bounds if he'd been able to make connection with it.
And that was the case. He was behind the defender, and really the problem, the defender just didn't turn his hips and run with him quick enough, stayed in his back pedal too long. And that's a case of a younger player, not having that experience and knowing when to turn and run with them. Just stayed maybe 1 or 2 steps in the back pedal too long.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings from their own 38. Boy, movement in the offensive line, and that'll be a 5-yard mark off, and the Vikings will face a 2nd and 15 from their own 33-yard line. Again, the clock moving, 7:05 left. We're running clock here in the entire second half.
And I've got a final for you, Rob. Colgan 42, Yates Center 0. So that was the halftime score, so I assume probably a running clock in that one as well.
So the Vikings from their own 33, pitch, sweep, right side. And that is Scheibe, avoids the first tackler and cuts inside and gets good yardage out to the 38-yard line. Got the penalty back.
Yeah, and that Pyle did a good job of getting to the outside. He didn't make the tackle, but he made him turn in because I think he had something going on. If he got to all the way to the outside, he would have had a much bigger gain. But Pyle, he didn't make the tackle, but he at least turned him in, and that led him to the other defenders who could make the play.
3rd and 10, Vikings from their own 38-yard line with the clock moving down to 6:15. Frontenac 44-0 lead. Johnson out of the gun, motion right to left goes Larson. They give it to Larson, trying to their left corner. Boy, there was a hold. And boy, nice open field tackle by Rayo, and stops him for a gain of only a couple.
Yeah, nice play by Rayo, and officials, pretty obvious. It's got to be something more than blatant, I think, for them to throw a flag in this one at this point with the running clock, and I suppose that's okay, but at the same time, not teaching kids anything either.
Alex Story, a good-looking freshman there at the defensive end position, 6 foot 185, and looked like he had pretty good position. I think he was the one who got kind of spun around before he could zero in on the running back. 4th down, forces scramble. Oh, Powell missed the tackle, and now he turns the corner, does Johnson, and he's got the 1st down and more, cuts midfield. Now he is loose. It's going to be a foot race, and coming up to make the stop. And a nice effort there by
Trey Strand.
Trey Strand came up open field tackle, or Johnson was gone.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for that, especially with the JV defense on the field. Kind of happened last year as well. When the JV got on the field, Johnson was able to make a big play. He got to the outside and avoided one tackler, and then it's just improvised. You can't really blame any of the defenders on the play. They were all in pretty good position. You just got a superior athlete. But boy, Strand showing some real quickness, came up and made a nice play in the open field.
So 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raiders' 30-yard line with the clock moving down to 4:50. On that 44-0 lead. And again, you got some new faces in that Raiders defense, and this is the first team offense of the Vikings trying to get something. And there's a give to Scheibe. It's a little draw play, and he dances inside the 25 down to about the 23-yard line.
And Bridwell coming in, getting in on that play. Also, Griffin Souter.
So some valuable experience at varsity level for some of those kids, and making some good plays. Johnson out of the gun, movement in the offensive line, so a 5-yard mark off. One of the offensive linemen a little antsy. Down to 3:58 remaining, and Frontenac that 44-0 lead. And after the 5-yard mark off, the Vikings will face a 2nd and 8 from the Raiders' 28-yard line. Wide out to both sides, slot to both sides. Scheibe, the running back, behind Johnson, rolling right, puts it up, and it's up, and the intended receiver is Larson, and he came down with the football, but I believe he's out of bounds.
And Pyle,
nice catch.
Yeah, Pyle with a pretty good job this time of keeping his outside arm free. Didn't quite let Johnson get to the outside, forced the throw just a little bit wider than the quarterback would have wanted.
So a 3rd down and 8 for the Vikings from the Raiders' 28-yard line, down to 2:55 remaining. Wide to the right is Nolan Prohl, joined out there by Larson, also Lode Holtz. Wide left is Pierce. Out of the gun, pitch, sweep, right side, and boy, a couple of missed tackles, and Scheibe spins out the bound to 30. Actually lost a couple, but it could have been worse. He needed a nice spin move to get out of some trouble.
Yeah, but good penetration by the Raiders defense, though. The defensive line had several guys get excellent penetration, get up the field. You know, they're slippery back there, so, but good job by the defense regardless.
4th and 10 for the Vikings from their Raiders, 30-yard line. Are they going to try a field goal, actually? As in there is Cody Stevens, the 5'9", 140-pound senior punter, place kicker. Larson will be the holder. He'll spot it down at the 37-yard line. get a 47-yard field goal attempt. Some of the Vikings a little tardy coming in from the sideline. They're going to run out of the play clock, and they're forced to call a timeout, which is why you're talking, 47 now. You don't need that additional 5. As we've mentioned, he's a pretty nice kicker is Cody Stevens, but the Vikings forced to call a timeout with a minute 52 remaining in Frontenac, up 44-0 again. End of the contest, we'll talk with Raiders coach Mark Smith, get some comments of this game against Parsons, and also go over the unofficial stats scoring summary and try and get some finals from some of the other games in the area, although the second half going rapidly with the running clock. But
well, they've got a couple updates. Girard has just scored to take a 12-8 lead up at Anderson County there in the fourth quarter. And in the third quarter, tight one, Pittsburgh 31, Bonner Springs 29. And then the other side of Girard's district, you have Burlington 30, Iola 14.
Okay, so a 47-yard field goal attempt by Cody Stevens out of Larson's hold. Good snap, gets it down, kick is up, and it's going to be short. And the Raiders will have the football. So to the point where, you could try and work on things and see if you can, like I said, I think one of the big positives was Harris's field goal there when it was 6-0 after you missed the extra point. Then he kicks a 41-yard field goal, 9-0. Then you get a little more momentum back, and he kicked a field goal the other day or the other game against Labette County. Yep. And so that's a good sign. That's a good dimension that kind of haven't had here recently. They've been trying a few times but haven't produced, but now got to feel positive about that. And reverse of that, Parsons tries to get a positive out of it, see if they could hit a field goal. And pretty long 47-yarder.
Yeah, that's an awful lot to ask out of a high school kicker. I don't care what kind of leg you have.
So 1st and 10 Raiders from the 30-yard line. Gates gives it to the tailback. And boy, a penalty flag goes down. And that time on the carry was Gil Bridwell. He dances out for a couple, maybe 3 yards. I must have seen a hold or a face mask.
Yeah. I was going to be just a hair upset if they called a holding call at this point with some of the other stuff that they have let go, but they called it just the 5-yard variety, not the personal foul.
So now down to 19 seconds, the Raiders can just let the clock tick out and run this one out and head back to Frontenac with a 44-0 shutout win over the Parsons Vikings. However, now I believe now they've told them to back off and just let the clock run out, and that's the case. The Frontenac Raiders shut out the Parsons Vikings 44-0. We'll be back with the unofficial stats scoring summary, a talk with Raiders coach Mark Smith, and more after we take a minute break. 1 minute, you're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something.
We're a family of Crimson Gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
Since 1945, Tri-State Building has been helping build the four-state area, providing quality construction services and dependability at competitive prices. Tri-State Building has a reputation as a general contractor and an authorized Butler builder, which holds experience, quality, and reliability above all other considerations. Tri-State Building has built a multitude of projects and is your full-service design build contractor that can take you from concept to grand opening. For an honest and proven contractor, call us, Tri-State Building.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Remaining in the first half. Jake Wilbert scored from 4 yards out. Harris good on the extra point. Frontenac 23, Parsons nothing. 7:23 left in the first half. Then 5:28 remaining in the first half. Peyton Brown from 8 yards out. Harris the extra point was Frontenac 30. And Parsons nothing with 5:28 remaining in the first half. Then with a minute remaining in the first half, 27-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Brown to Zach Roseborough. Extra point attempt failed. It was Frontenac 36-0 lead with a minute remaining in the first half. That's where we were at the halftime. 36-0 Frontenac led Parsons. Then one score in that second half, that in the third quarter with 5:04 remaining, a 16-yard touchdown run by Alex Johnson. And Wilbert, the fire, the two-point conversion. And it was Frontenac 44, Parsons nothing with 5:04 remaining in the third quarter. That's the way the third quarter ended. The Raiders led it 44-0, go through a scoreless fourth quarter. And Frontenac with a 44-0 win, and running clock in the second half kind of abbreviated this one. But all in all, pretty positive show by the Raiders here in this 44-0 shutout win over the Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys played well. Both sides of the football, defense really well. Couple of times let Johnson get loose, but I think overall you have to expect that. I think the ends did a good job of keeping him pretty well bottled up. So defensively, again, played really well. Offensively, I think overall I'm pretty happy with the performance. You know, the snaps is still an issue. Now, one Strand came in.